Real quick before I get into this episode, I just wanted to ask that if you have been watching this series and you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe. According to my analytics, about 45% of y'all are not subscribed, and I'm trying to hit 30K on this channel by the end of the year, so I would really appreciate it. Anyways, on with the video. So going into this season, there's two things that I need to talk about: the new additions and their places on this team, and the internal improvement I've talked about a lot with this roster very briefly in moments in the series, but never really addressed directly. For the new guys, I really don't expect Covington to do all that much more than Dorian Finney-Smith did for this team. Outside of two things, I'm hoping he'll be more of an impactful team defender, since that's what Robert Covington really specializes in, whereas Dorian was more of a one-on-one defender, and I'm hoping he's a bit more of a shooter in the actual games I play. In simulation, the difference I don't expect to be all that much, but I rarely hit threes with Finney-Smith in-game. I'm hoping that'll be different for Robert. As for Juan Toscano-Anderson, I'd like perimeter defense from him, good plays in transition, both from running himself and making good passes, because Juan is actually a sneaky good playmaker. He averaged 5 assists per game per 36 last season, and then of course he needs to hit his open threes. He's essentially taking Reggie Bullock's place in the rotation, and he's not the shooter that Reggie is, but I think he's a more capable defender, and when it comes to what this team needs, I think that's a better fit, as this team's defense is sometimes not bad, but certainly not the comically good defensive core that I had from the Sixer series. Now the last thing is the Tony Snell versus Austin Rivers fight for the last rotation spot. Yeah, I'm going to be talking at length about this. This is the series that you signed up for. As of right now, I am definitely leaning towards Tony Snell, not necessarily because he's a better player, but I think his role is more suited to that last spot. Tony is quite a bit bigger, he's taller with more length, he's a little bit stronger. I think his defensive versatility is a bit higher as a result. I'd probably lean towards Austin being the better defender overall, but just really on guards, Tony can guard most forwards at a respectable rate. And then for their offensive capability, Austin can do more off of the dribble, both as a scorer and a playmaker. Austin is prone to random big offensive games where he showcases the offensive potential that got him drafted as high as he did back in the day. Now, Snell is not as bombastic, but I'd say a bit more reliable, especially from three. Austin is either a good or bad shooter depending on the day. Meanwhile, Tony Snell has shot 40% from three for his entire career, and he shot 57% last year. Also, just in terms of what this team needs, I'd rather have a spot-up shooter over someone trying to do stuff off of the dribble, and that's more what Tony does more so than Austin. So I'm going to give the last roster spot to Tony Snell for now, but if Tony doesn't do so hot, I'll give Austin some opportunity. What I appreciate about Tony and Juan now in the rotation is it gives us further wing depth than we had previous, and when I go to my first rotation change, which is taking Wall, Tim Hardaway, and Jackson Hayes out, I can now put out Kleber, Tony, and Juan out there, so I essentially just have 5 wings out on the floor. That's some true modern basketball right there. Now, as for the internal improvement, I am gonna focus this on our younger guys as well, because, you know, old dogs, new tricks and all that, but first and foremost is Luka. At this point, I can't literally ask anything more out of Luka offensively. Now that his 3-ball has proven elite with the off-ball implements added to it, on top of the massive leap he made as a mid-range shooter and post scorer in his 3rd year, there is literally nothing offensively that he is not elite at. But defense, he's fine. However, I would like better than fine. Right now, Luka is a big dude with an astronomically high understanding of the game, and he's been able to get by on that. But effort and energy into that side will take him to the next level to actually being good defensively. With less offensive responsibility on ball, Luka has a bit more energy than he used to on the floor on any given night, and I'm hoping he'll use that on defense. Further conditioning should add to this, and I'm having him work on perimeter defense and the training thingy. And really, it's a similar thing for Tim Hardaway Jr., who is actually just a bad defender. If I could move him from bad to okay, that would be a victory. I've turned a blind eye on some of his flaws because he's fit so well on offense, but a few seasons down the line when we're really going for it, if there's some cracks, and he's a part of it, as much as I hate to say it, he certainly is not untouchable. And really, last is Jackson Hayes. Looking in the long term, the odds of Jackson keeping his starting spot are slim with how how many centers are in 2023's free agency class. However, one way he could convince me to keep him as a starter is for him to start hitting threes. In real life, he's a good free throw shooter, and he has shot well on his career 18 3-point attempts, which is a nothing sample size, but he has shot like 40+% on them. But his 3-point rating at this point in the game is a 68, and I turned up his tendency to where he'll take like one a game. If he can even semi-space the floor, that would be cool, because the big name centers of 2023's free agency all can hit threes, and that space would be nice. That said, he's probably going to the bench regardless when I sign one of those guys, but it's something to keep in mind, I suppose. Anyways, I decided of our first 10 games of the season, I would play 3 of those games because I wanted to get this team off to a good start. So here are those games, starting with the season opener versus the Hornets. Right out of the gate, I must apologize because there's going to be no game audio for these 3 games, because I had to redo the My League file just to fix the contract situation with some of our players and with the league in general that was wrong. Covington gets his first basket as a Dallas Maverick. So I forgot to turn off the commentary. I like to have my own commentary over it. Covington with the 3-pointer, but a lot of the contracts, not only with this team, was wrong, but also the other teams in the league. Like, a bunch of players were free agents when they were not supposed to be free agents. Like DeMar DeRozan, for example, was a free agent in the 2022 free agency class, and that was going to throw the whole league out of wonk. So I just had to redo the file and put the team together and simulate the season. It had a similar result. We lost in the first round again, but we can just pretend canonically that the Clippers series is what happened, because it was, but the roster is just technically in a different My League file now, so that those things were corrected. Luka is now making like $40 million next season, rather than I think it let me max him out at 27 when I tried to put that in manually, which is less than he's going to be getting. So now all the contracts are 100% accurate to what the players actually make. Also, I wasn't able to do a draft class. So I was able to put a draft class this time around, so there were actual real prospects available. Whoever I drafted in the last episode, there were like a couple of comments actually knowing who the guy was. I don't know anything about the 2022 draft class, but I wanted to have actual prospects in the game. So with that said, we are currently beating the Hornets, even though Mason Plumlee has made 2 ridiculous shots in a row. But Robert Covington also having a good debut, 10 points in the first half. Luka with this crazy step back 3 over Kelly Oubre. I feel like everybody universally forgets that Kelly Oubre is on the Hornets. Juan Toscano-Anderson with a nice dunk. I love Juan Toscano-Anderson and Jordan Poole. Like, I just completely fell in love with them as players last year, because they were like the players that actually stepped up for the Warriors when they needed somebody to step up for Steph. And I watch a lot of Warriors games because I love Steph, and both of them were fantastic for them last year. I was very excited to get Juan as he makes a nice pass right there to Kleba under the rim. And as you see, we're just destroying Charlotte right now. They have Jalen Brunson. The Bucks did not retain him, and Covington gets that quick post bucket on him, taking care of the mismatch. Brunson gets us back with the layup. So, hey, there's some quick revenge for you right there, I suppose. Steal by Juan, and the pass up to Tony Snell, who greens the 3 on the fast break. That's kind of a bold shot to take with him. Jalen Brunson making that pull-up mid-range shot on this drive here. Covington gets left open for 3, which is another green release. I had to change his release because Covington's release has always been bad in 2K for me, but it's pretty good this time around. Tony Snell, open 3-pointer, bang. Great pass there by John Wall. And because we're absolutely blowing them out of the water, I decided to simulate this game. Luka finishes with a triple-double. Jackson Hayes has a good double-double. Robert Covington with 19 points, which is great. John Wall with a double-double himself. So just a really good performance all around. Juan Toscano-Anderson with a good debut, and even Tony Snell with a good debut. Now I decided we'd face the Lakers. There was actually a couple of games. There were 4 games simulated in between the Hornets game and this one. I just forgot to record it, and we went 2-2 in those games. So we're currently sitting at 3-2 as our record as we face LA. So the title or the thumbnail that says 10-0 start is a little bit clickbait, but we'll see how the rest of the first 10 games go. So right here we have Aaron Baines, who's now their starting center, which is just tragic, getting dropped by Luka because It's Luka and Aaron Baines. Robert Covington wide open for three in the corner as he reset, as AD didn't want to stop protecting the rim. In the corner, Juan Toscano-Anderson had no business making that shot. He's really not a good enough shooter to make some shit like that, but he did. And as you may have noticed early, Tim Hardaway Jr. is kind of getting some shots up. John crosses over Russell Westbrook's spin move. Great dump off pass to Jackson Hayes. Then on this play, John Wall drives. Tim Hardaway Jr. open for three. That's 4 threes for him in the first half. Russell Westbrook gets blocked on the green release layup by Jackson Hayes. Good thing he blocked it because he would have made it otherwise. And then pump fake, step in for the mid-range shot for Tim Hardaway Jr. That's 14 points. The very rare non-3-point basket for Tim. Speaking of 3-point baskets, nothing makes me happier than hitting a step back three with Luka. I had to change his step back animation to the James Harden one because the Luka step back animation is just, it doesn't work. Tim Hardaway makes that three, which is kind of crazy. That was a wild ass shot. But the James Harden step back animation actually works. It's one he had to quit for 2K21 and I was used to it, so put that on and it's worked much better since. Tim Hardaway now with 22 points, misses this free throw line jump shot, but he has been absolutely hitting every damn shot he takes, and we have a pretty sizable lead on LA as a result, even though Russell Westbrook gets that lob to AD on the break. AD steps up on the step back from Luka, which gives Maxi Kleber the wide open dunk, and I gave Covington the Anthony Davis assignment for a decent portion of this game, and he actually held his own really well. What's interesting, nice cut by Juan, what's interesting about defending Anthony Davis is even though he's a big, it's really more about length than it is weight, because he's not really like a power back down big. He really just needs to have someone to put a hand up on his hook shots and his fadeaways, because he's only really going to bully guards and stuff like that. That's why PJ Tucker got beat by Anthony Davis hitting jumpers over him, not him powering through them. But as you may or may have noticed, LA has started to make a comeback. However, a John Wall 3, and then wait for it, yet another green release John Wall 3 is what really gets us back in front of this game. And it's in this shot right here by Tim Hardaway, just a complete showcase of how hot he was, because that was deep off of the dribble and contested. But John Wall hitting threes to give us the comforting lead in this game was certainly not something that I expected. Sorry for stuttering right there. Tim Hardaway splashing more and more three-pointers, and we win this game, obviously. Tim just absolutely fantastic in this game. 8 for 14 from 3, hit some 2-pointers, which he never does. Luka didn't even have to score a lot. Like, very rarely do I score less than 30 points with Luka, and he only had 20 in this one. And Luka with a triple-double once again. Then I simulate these next 3 games. All of them are W's, which means, if I do the math correctly, we now have a 7-2 record at the moment. So we're playing the 10th game of the season now versus the New Orleans Pelicans. I picked them, one, because this is the 10th game of the season, but also the Pelicans are always way better in 2K than they should be. Luka with the redirect on offense. Brandon Ingram leaves him behind for the three-pointer, and he hits his fadeaway over him as well. After last game, only scoring 20 points with Luka, I kind of just felt like going off. We lose Devontae Graham off of that jump ball. It kind of felt like going off with Luka, so that is exactly what I did. This drive here on Victor Oladipo. The Pelicans actually have a really nice bench unit, because they have Victor Oladipo, who's solid, and they have Buddy Hield. Both of those players coming off of the bench. Nice spin move there by Luka. I would argue Buddy Hield should probably start over Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but whatever, regardless. Very deep team, this Pelicans team. Juan doesn't quite step up on that Brandon Ingram pull-up, and the Pelicans have given us the best fight thus far. LA didn't really do that much, even though they gave a fourth quarter comeback, and the Hornets just absolutely got destroyed. But if not for Luka going off in this game, we probably would not be, in it. And Jackson Hayes with the block right there on Zion. I'm keeping this defensive possession going on for a while just because, once again, on this move, blocked by Jackson Hayes. This is former team, by the way, so blocked Zion twice in a row. Nickeil Alexander-Walker misses that pull-up. Zion goes up for it again, and I believe Covington is the one who blocked it that time. So Zion gets blocked 3 shots in a row on one possession, and then John Wall finds Tim Hardaway Jr. As the trail man for the 3. Trail man plays for three-pointers are always so satisfying. It's also satisfying breaking someone's ankles and then hitting a step-back 3 on them. This play, I tried to give Zion a lane so I could bait him for a block, but that was probably a mistake as he gets the poster on Jackson Hayes to get a little bit of revenge for being blocked 3 times in a row. This possession, I don't remember what happens on this possession. Pick and roll, I cannot remember at all. Oh yeah, they left Luka open for no fucking reason. Usually I watch these games like 2 or 3 times ahead of time just so that I can commentate properly. Lob there to Zion, but I just forgot whatever that possession was. Block there by Robert Covington, some fantastic help defense. It's something you don't really see Dorian Finney-Smith doing. And then John Wall with the drive on Kira Lewis, that's his name, right? Yeah, Kira Lewis. Nice fadeaway mid-range shot there by Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield has actually kind of gotten to the point of being underrated to me because I don't know, he's pretty good and people act like he's trash. Random tangent there. Missed by their rookie at the free throw line, and then on the fast break, John Wall gets that dunk to close out the third quarter. We have a comfortable lead against the Pelicans, but it's nothing substantial right there. But Tim Hardaway Jr. with the 3-pointer. Jackson gets put into the rim with the hook shot there by Zion, and then he hits this very contested fadeaway. Zion, for whatever reason, just has a deadly fadeaway by his second year in every 2K league file, so that's a thing. But Juan, 3-pointer right there. I'm just going to say that I love him every time he does it. Brandon Ingram gets absolutely frozen by the most minor hesitation move by Luka there. Good defense in the post by Jackson Hayes. You probably have picked up on it by now, but I gave Jackson Hayes the Zion matchup just because he's the only guy who really had the strength for it. Ingram once again gets frozen. I just take the easy pull up with Luka. Normally I'd try to drive, but I was like, this is wide open. I just got to take that. As you see, he has 47 points at this point. And they're playing the full court press, and with Ingram stumbling to try and stay in front, I quickly do that step back move, which is, I believe that's 3 step back threes in this game for Luka. There's a step back mid-range shot there for you. The Pelicans definitely gave us the best fight of anyone who played, but definitely still the superior team. That was a crazy finish by Luka over Moses Brown. And then to close this one, let's make it 4 step back threes. And that is Luka's last bucket of the game because I tried to go for 60 on this last possession and he didn't make it. But 57 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Jackson Hayes had 12, 18, and 8 blocks, which is absolutely insane. And he held Zion to poor efficiency from the field. Tim Hardaway played well. John Wall with a double-double. Fantastic. So we have officially started the season with an 8-2 record, which is tied for the best in the NBA. We have the 6th best offense in the league and the 3rd best defense. Now, I expect the defense to fall off, but I think the offense can maintain, if not improve. As for the players' numbers, I have a question. Has there ever been a pair of teammates who both average 9 assists a game, like on the same team? Because I can't imagine there has. Luka and Hardaway are both shooting exceptionally well from 3. Jackson Hayes is averaging 3.5 blocks, though having 2 8-block games probably has something to do with that average. And for our new additions, Covington is shooting 38% from 3. Juan is shooting 35%, which is neither good nor bad. And Tony Snell is shooting 43% from 3 on 2 attempts, which is a very Tony Snell thing to average. So yeah, very good opening of the season. Look forward to getting to around mid-season in the next episode, but that is the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more MyNBA content like this, and cue the outro music.